Welcome to the Stair upper body workout. This is a really good one for sculpting the arms, triceps, shoulders, back, upper thighs, toes, and good for building strength to be able to master a handstand too. Some of the exercises may take a little coordination in the beginning. Study the movements, listen to my instructions, and you'll find your fluidity in no time. First time doing this workout, you may want to do it in two halves to get used to some of the exercises and give your wrists and shoulders a chance to rest. The slower you do the exercises, the more strength and stability you'll build. If you're repeating the workout, feel free to play with the speed you move at. Maybe repeat some exercises at different tempos to promote well-rounded strength. In some of the workouts I mentioned animals, for example a cat crawl. It might be helpful to consciously picture the animal mentioned moving as you go through the action to help you find the flow. Remember, always stay loose in between the exercises, shake out your wrists, arms, legs, ankles. Keep your mouth closed and maintain a nice steady nasal breath. If you find yourself getting out of breath, rest longer in between exercises. Happy crawling. Before we get into it, we're just going to warm the body up. You can do your own warm up of course, but just additionally to prepare you for the specific exercises that we'll be doing here, shake the wrists out, make them like jelly, shake out the forearms, sit down in a little frog position and just start to gently rock back and forth on the hands, on the flats of the hands, on the wrists, side to side. Turn the fingers towards you. Turn the palms over, back to the wrist. Don't put too much weight here though, just warming up the wrists. And then to warm up the hips, you'll do some deep lunges, really drive the groin into the heel, and make sure the back foot, your knee is facing forwards, your heel is directly above your toes, not turned sideways. Both sides, gently bouncing in this position, and you're ready to start. Just to start off, you're going to do a gentle crawl like you're a kid playing, running up the stairs. Most of the weight should be in your back to your legs, but just a little jaunt through the hands and back down. Next up, we're going to rabbit hop up the stairs, really mindfully and controlled with this motion. The stairs offer a really good chance for you to be linear and rigid and focused in your motions, just the square nature of them. So make sure you're really controlled, knees tight together, heels together, feet together. Weight into the palms, gently rock back. You see the rocking motion forwards, backwards, controlled, composed. If that's too hard for you to keep your feet that close to your hands, feel free to put one stair gap in between your toes and your hands. Now we're going to open the knees either side of our hands, keeping the hips really low on this motion. Gently put the weights into the palms of your hands, lift the toes up. It's a really fun motion to do. You find the rhythm in it and reverse it back down. You see the angles of the shoulders rotating above the wrists, forwards, backwards. Really good for massaging the wrists, waking them up. Now we're going to get our hips up high and do these camel hops. Keep your legs as straight as possible, stretching the hamstrings, rock the weight forward onto the hands and lift with the hips. If this is too hard, feel free to bend the knees as you need to, but the aim of it is to keep the legs as straight and get the hips as high as possible to train you for that handstand, and reverse it back down. Now we're going to begin with some crawling, and the first one we're going to do is the puppet crawl. So you're going to go same side, same hand, and your knee is going to follow the elbow as though it's tied on a string, like a puppet, up, and then you're going to reverse it back down. Now we're going to go to the cat crawl. You learnt this on the floor. If you haven't, I'd recommend you watch that video so you can master the motion. So we always want to have elbows and knees from one side close together while the other elbow and the other knee are far apart. And that is the basic premise of the cat crawl. So similar to the last cat crawl, but instead of the knees being right behind the elbows, you're going to put them out to the side and drop the hips a lot lower this time. And try and really be controlled, weight over the hands, balance across the whole of the palm, and just squatting like a frog. You're going to crawl and back down. Now we're going to have even more fun with a camel walk, which is the same technique to the crawl, except your legs are going to be completely straight and the hips are going to be high in the sky. But you see one side of your body stays short while the other side stays long, and then it swaps as the other foot reaches backwards and you back down. So now you're going to crawl up sideways. You're going to put your hands on separate steps and then bring both feet up to the right behind the hands. You're going to go two up at a time and then reverse it back down. You can play with this. You can reach further with your hands or reach shorter with your hands. Find where you're at. Find the edges of your capabilities. And to balance it out, make sure you go up on the other side as well. As you see here, I'm going to have some fun, and sometimes you can reach further with the hands, reach shorter with the hands. Really work on that control, that wave from the upper body to lower body. An alternative to this is an exaggerated version where you reach even further up with your feet than your hands go, and then same coming down, you're going to reach lower with your hands than your feet are. And this takes a bit more weight through the hands and really gets you ready for handstands. Now we've got to go backwards at some point. This is a crab hop with hands together, just rocking the upper body forwards, backwards as the weight shifts between your feet. Then it goes into the hands, your feet jump up. Then it goes to your hands and shuffle it back down. It's quite a fun one. Now just to make it slightly harder on your coordination, we're going to do the same crab hop, but this time crawling. So opposite hand and opposite feet lift up and take a step, and then the other side goes and back down. You might need to practice this going down first, and then as you get used to the motion, you can do it going up. Really good for strengthening the back of the triceps. Now this one's slightly more advanced, but if you feel ready, you're going to crawl down heads first. Lead with the hands, walk with the toes, pushing back against the steps to the bottom. Another version of this is just to hop down like a press up, but your feet aren't all the way back. Just to take the weight in your hands and onto the feet. Now to get some serious weight into your hands, through the shoulders, you can do a camel walk down. This is really good handstand stair training, strengthening, stretch out the back of your hamstrings as well. I really like the camel. Just a little fear test for you all. You're going to practice handstanding on the bottom step. So what you want to have confidence in is being able to pivot out. You can practice this on the grass first of all, overshooting the handstand and making sure you can pivot out. And once you're confident with that on the grass, it's great to practice by upping it just a little bit. You're going to go on the edge of the bottom step, handstand on the edge, and rotate out. Just overshoot it. And then once you get over the fear of overshooting the handstand, then you can start to master the handstand, because you can start to fight against it and not be afraid, because you know that if you do overshoot, you land on your feet. Don't forget, cool down afterwards, shake all the lactic out from the tips of your fingers, tips of your toes. Give your wrists a shake, give your arms a swing. Make sure you're staying loose. Get it out. I think it's really important as well to stretch your shoulders the opposite way. You put so much pressure through them in the front of the muscle that it starts to tighten up. Make sure you stretch them out. Open up the chest. And that's it for the stair upper body workout. Don't forget to thank the stairs, thank your body, thank your mind, and thank your breath. I hope you enjoyed getting better acquainted with your local set of stairs. It might be a good idea to swim in between, especially backstroke, as you can maintain nose breathing, and that technique really helps to open your chest up. If you want to do another workout today, I'd recommend you pair it with a stair lower body or even hang to put length back in your muscles. See you soon.